Awesome. Well, I'm very glad to provide this workshop because I believe you guys gonna get a lot out of it. My name is Edgar De Velasco. I'm originally from Lima, Peru. I live here in Florida, in Hollywood. I've been living here for the last 20 something years. I worked in corporate America for almost 22 years in different companies. And for the last 2 years, I've been a college professor in United International College in Miramar. I'm teaching different courses such as marketing, business, and the course that I like the most is self-empowerment. Today, we're going to have this workshop about emotional intelligence. The first part of the workshop is going to be about emotional intelligence, which is very trendy right now in all corporate America in different areas. And you're going to learn about how to basically relate to the person that you work with, the person you are with. And on top of that, we're also going to be talking about our personal life project, okay? About how we can do our life project based on all the areas that we have in our life, and not just focusing on ones, but to keep a balance on all of them. And I sent a sample of our format that you guys can use to do your personal life project. And Alex is gonna send that to you at the end of this workshop. Okay. And then right now, I just gonna go ahead with the workshop. And at the end of the session, if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask anything that you would like to get more information about. All right. So the first part, it's about emotional intelligence, right? What is emotional intelligence? Right now, we talk a lot about emotional intelligence, or corporate America, they talk about that. And sometimes people believe, okay, what is emotional intelligence? Just for me to be an intelligent person? No. Now, emotional intelligence is the way and all the steps every person has to have in order to relate, to have a relationship with another person or other people as well. Okay. And emotional intelligence have different elements. Now, we can see on the presentation, we have the self-awareness as the emotional self-awareness when we realize how we feel in a determined and particular time. How do I feel today? Because emotions are not permanent. Emotions are transitory. And today I could feel a little bit sad, but tomorrow or next week, I might feel very happy. I believe Diana is joining again. I might feel very happy. Okay, so this is the self-awareness of how I feel
You didn't like
emotionally.
what do you mean why? You need to know why?
Hold on, let me actually put a thing in a mute. All right. Okay, then we have the self-management. Okay, it's emotional self-control, adaptability, achievement, and positive outlook. Meaning when we are aware of a certain emotion that we feel, being able to change that or monitor that so we can have a different outlook, a different behavior when we are dealing with other people. Okay, and that is very important as well. So that will be the self-management, the management of the emotions that we feel. And then, of course, there's the social awareness when we have empathy. What is empathy? Empathy is when we feel what the other person is feeling, when we actually get in the other person's shoes. Okay. For example, we're living in a family and we're talking to our brothers, sisters, or spouses, or in a work environment or in a school environment. Okay. And then we see someone that has a problem. Okay. Not just go ahead and judge and say, oh, that person is doing this and that. We need to put ourselves in the other person's shoes and see why that person is reacting in such a way. And maybe we might be able to understand the reason why the person is reacting in that way, and be able to actually uh, talk to that person and get into an understanding and a mutual agreement. Okay, that's the social awareness, empathy, and organizational awareness as well. Now, the relationship management, that's more the inspiring leadership when we have when we influence someone. Okay, and the best way to make a team or our co-workers to do and proceed with any task is by influencing in a positive way. How would you do that with different leadership styles that we're going to be talking about in the next slides? But one of the best is by example. If you want a coworker, if you want an employee to do the best they can, you need to start by doing the best you can as a person, and therefore you will influence in a positive way the other person to do the best he or she can do. The next one is the relationship management, inspiring leadership, influencing, conflict management. What happens when you have a conflict with someone? How will you deal with conflict? Okay, by screaming, by yelling, by judging? No, there are certain ways that you can deal with conflict in a positive way. So that will be a win-win situation instead of just making the other person feel bad. Okay. Teamwork is crucial. If there is a teamwork, everyone knows that they can contribute with a little bit to complete the whole project entirely. So they know that they contribute in certain way in doing certain tasks. Therefore, the manager needs to know how to distribute the work accordingly based on the employee's experience, based on the employee's background, and we have different criteria to provide and deliver those tasks to the employees in the best way possible. And collaboration, yeah, the manager needs to be on top of it as well, right? When you're dealing with co-workers, yeah, they're doing the work, but if you can help out, you need to do that because that's the principle of collaboration. And that's also crucial in the teamwork environment. What is stress? What is stress? In today's environment, in today's society, stress is playing a big driven in any kind of corporation, even in the families. So stress is basically when you have to do something and then you believe that you cannot do it, that you don't have enough time, that you don't have enough preparation. So you need to do something, but you believe that you cannot perform the best you can. And how to deal with that? In the next slides, I'm going to come up with some tips about how to deal with stress. But I'm telling you right now, with the stress, you can deal with it doing some breathing exercises, doing some meditation as well. Okay, the best way possible that work for you because each person deals with stress in a different and unique way. There are certain tips that you guys can follow, but at the end of the day, it's you, the one that needs to apply the ones that are more feasible to you. Okay. Now, the emotional intelligence will be first, managing with heart. It is very important, putting the heart on top of your mind, okay? Feeling empathy, as I mentioned before, or compassion for those they worked with, okay? All the folks that you work with, you need to listen to them. You need to put yourself in the other person's shoes, okay? Feeling what the other person feels. That's the concept of empathy. Leadership is not domination, like I have the power, so you're gonna do what I say because you have to. Okay, so that if you put yourself in that situation, your coworker, the employee that reports to you, are gonna act in fear. Okay, it's gonna behave in fear, and of course, it's not gonna put 100% of the work that he or she is supposed to put. Okay, so leadership is not domination, but the art of persuading people to work towards a common goal. And that is key, having a common goal. So everyone needs to be aligned, thinking and believing that whatever we do is for the benefit of the entire group, for everyone, not just for one person and the other one's not. No, it's for everyone. This is a common goal. When that particular concept gets stuck in people's mind, then they're going to try to perform the best because they know that it's in everyone's benefit. If I believe or someone else believes that it's only going to be in benefit of certain people, not myself or not my group, then guess what? Then that's where you start with the gossiping, with the jealousy, with being sarcastic, and people are not going to be working because they don't see a common goal. They see that only some people will benefit, but not myself. Okay. Then we have the art of the critique, criticism versus feedback. Okay, criticism is when you talk about someone, you challenge someone. Okay, is so different from feedback. Okay, feedback is a gift. Let me actually put someone in silent. Okay, feedback is a gift. Okay, and as a gift, you need to ask for permission. You cannot just provide feedback and then throw it at someone. Feedback needs to be asked, and there are different ways to provide feedback to a person. Okay, first, with all respect, ask someone if that person agrees to receive feedback. And again, feedback is only based on your perception. The other person, okay, have the choice to accept that feedback or reject it. Because if I accept it, yeah, you know what? You are right. There are certain ways that I can improve. Or maybe that's just your perception. I don't feel this way, so I won't do it. Okay. But normally, when you start providing feedback to someone, you start first with the positive things. Okay, you are a smart person, you do this on time, do this, do that. But my personal opinion, I believe that you can do much better if you do this, and that. Okay. And then you provide all the help you can to that person, and that person sees that you are trying to help. So the feedback will be accepted. Okay. And it will work in the benefit of the person that you provide feedback with. The worst way to motivate someone is doing it in a sarcastic way. Like, are you sure you can do that? No, you can't. I mean, you don't have the preparation, the knowledge. I don't see you being able to work this project or to take this task on. Okay. Being sarcastic is a no. Why? Because that puts the other person down. And we all have that kind of experience. When you feel down, are you able to perform the best you can? No. But when you are encouraged, when you're provided with positive feedback, yes, because again, you believe that we are part of the common goal. Okay. Therefore, whatever I'm doing, it will work in my benefit and in your benefit. Okay. Um, so it says doing it in a sarcastic way will trigger a devastating effect in the person that receives it. Of course, I mean, I'm gonna feel they are insulting me, I'm being humiliated, and all that. Um, the person would try to avoid the manager. I mean, if I see that my manager is being sarcastic with me, I'm gonna try to avoid him because I don't want people to, put pressure on me and to humiliate me. Of course, I don't want that. So every time I see my manager, I'm gonna try to hide, right? And the person will not be motivated to do the job. And in the family, I mean, this is on the job environment, the work environment, but in the family, the end of someone that is too sarcastic could be a divorce. Because who wants to be with someone that is very sarcastic and every day is like telling you, are you doing this? I bet you don't, and try to put ourselves down? No. Our family members, our co-workers are supposed to put us up, to encourage for us to do our best, not to put us down. I mean, if they put us down, we're not gonna have any motivation at all, and that will be painful and awful, not just for us, but for the company as well. Okay. In the artful critique, As I mentioned before, feedback is focusing on the fact. You are not judging the person, okay? The feedback is not for the person, it's for the event, for the action, for the fact, and not on the person, okay? And you need to be specific. And at the same time, when you do feedback, you need to offer a solution if it's possible, okay? And then you need to be present. You're not going to be providing feedback and then texting messages on your phone or can you hold on a second? I need to get this call. I really need to get this call. No, you need to be present. So the person needs to feel that you are there and that you are giving all of your time to that person so that person can benefit out of that. Okay. So offer a solution, be present, and be sensitive, empathic, and ask if feedback is welcome. Because it could be if the person says, you know what, I don't want any feedback. The correct response will be, okay, I won't give you, but just so be aware that with this feedback, I'm sure you'll be able to improve your performance. You'll be able to do this, and I'm here to help, not to be against you. Okay? And maybe give that person more time. And I'm sure in a day or two, that person is going to come back and say, I'm able to hear now. I'm willing to hear you on whatever you have to say for me to improve my performance. Okay? Then that is very important as well. And what makes a leader as part of this emotional intelligence um, concept? As I mentioned before, the self-awareness, having deep understanding of one's emotion. How do I feel now? And the best way is just to ask yourself, how do I feel now? Am I upset? Am I sad? Am I happy? Am I frustrated? How do you feel? What kind of emotion you are feeling today? And as I mentioned before, emotions do not define us. Emotions are how we feel in a particular and determined time. It's how we feel today. Tomorrow, we might feel different. Therefore, it's never good to make a very important decision when we have certain emotions, because chances are they're going to screw up. We're not going to have the right decision. So we need to wait. Since emotions are temporary, we need to wait until we are more calmed, until we feel much better, until we feel more centered to make a decision. Because if we make any decision that is important in our life, when we are very emotional, that's not going to be good. Okay. Then self-management, we need to learn how to manage ourselves. Okay. How, when I'm very upset, when I'm very angry, sometimes it's better not to talk to the person we need to talk and say, can we please talk tomorrow or maybe in the afternoon? Because right now, I don't feel good. And nothing good can come out of this. So can we please reschedule a meeting for tomorrow, right? Then I mentioned before empathy. Empathy is important about how the other person feels, okay? And social skills, again, how to be able to treat people with respect. And here, for example, in this picture on the self-management, we have, of course, there are different elements that compose the self-management. There's interpersonal skills, productivity, initiative. You need to take initiative, integrity. Okay, people need to, know you not just as a good person with ethic, but also with integrity, because that is important. Confidence, knowing that you know what you're doing, that you know what you are saying. Because if there is a minimum doubt that you have no clue what you're doing and what you're saying, then there is no confidence and people is not going to trust you anymore. Okay. Analytical skills, of course, course, someone has to have analytical skills. Lifelong learning. Life is a continuing education, continuing learning. We need to take courses. We need to take some workshops, things to improve myself, because change, things evolved on a daily basis. Whatever is good and well known today, tomorrow it might be a better way to do it. And what if you don't know how to do that? Then someone else is going to be ahead of you. It's going to be ahead of the game because the other person already prepared in what's coming up, what's coming next, and knows how to do it, and you don't. Okay. So basically, life is a lifelong learning experience. Communication. You need to communicate good. You need to communicate clearly. And communication is not just talking. Talking is 50% of communication. Listening is the other 50%. And sometimes people do not communicate well because all they want is to talk, to bring his or her ideas across, and not listening to the other person. And it happens to you. What happens when someone starts talking to you, it doesn't even give you a chance to respond or to talk back or to hear your ideas. You say something and the person's already thinking about what's going to reply. Does it make sense? So a good communication is 50% talking properly, slowly, clearly, and the other 50% listening. Because the best way to be respected is to be listened. Okay? Resilience. What is resilience? When I'm like beaten down and then I come back again. Okay? Stronger than before. So yeah, we all have our down moments. We can actually go down, be sometimes sad, depressed, whatever. Sometimes we, you know, don't perform the best we can, but a resilient person, despite of all that, always come back. Okay. Honesty. If you are perceived as being an honest person, you have already 40% of the game done. Flexibility, yeah, it's not everything is not written in stone, right? We need to be flexible based on the situation, based on the circumstances, based on the person, on the people that we're working with, right? Flexibility is key to problem solving. Every time you provide feedback, to come up with a solution if possible. Okay. Those are part of the self-management and social skills. And how about the leadership styles? As you know, there are different leadership styles. And in this slide, I named some of them. I'm going to list some of them. The visionary or authoritative, okay? Person that move people towards shared dreams, most strongly positive, when change requires a new vision or when a clear direction is needed. That's when this style is more appropriate, okay? Then you have the coaching style. How it builds resonance, connects what a person wants with the team's goals. Impact on climate, highly positive. When this leadership style is more appropriate to help a person contribute more effectively to the team, okay, by training, by providing advice, tips. That's the coaching style, okay? Affiliative, how it builds resonance, creates harmony by connecting people to each other. Okay, so it's connecting people. Okay, you're gonna work with him is gonna work with her, based on backgrounds, on culture, on knowledge, on experience, so forth, so on. The impact on climate, positive. And when this style is more appropriate, to heal rifts in a team, motivate during successful times, or strengthen connections. Okay. And then we have the democratic style. Okay. It values people's input, gets commitment through participation, and all that. And of course, the impact on climate has to be very positive as well. And when this style is more appropriate, to build buy-in or consensus or to get valuable input from team members. Okay, that's the democratic style. The pace setting style sets challenging and exciting goals, meaning, okay, you need to do this fast. This is the deadline, and you need to work on that, no? On how this project is going to be done and in what period of time. The impact on climate will be often highly negative because poorly executed. Okay, so you need to put some pressure. You know, they need to increase the or make the pace faster so they can produce more in less time. When this is appropriate, to get high quality results from motivated and competent team. Okay, and the last but not least is the commanding or coercive style. You guys need to do that now. Okay. How it builds resonance? By fear, by giving clear directions in an emergency situation. Okay. And impact on climate will be often highly negative because misused. And when this is appropriate, in crisis, to kickstart a turnaround. Now, if you ask me which of these styles is the best, I would say all and none. Why? Because we, in one way or another, need to basically use all the styles based on two factors: the situation and the people you are dealing with. Okay? If you know someone that needs help because doesn't have enough experience, go more on the coaching style. If there is a fire in the building, of course you need to go for the commanding or coercive, like, get out of here now. You're not gonna go like, can we vote who's gonna leave, who's gonna stay? Because well, everyone in the room is gonna die, right? You need to apply the commanding and coercive uh, style because this is a crisis situation. You know, get out of here right now. No, but if you have time, you know, the due date for a project is in a month, and you want to present an excellent, extraordinary job, then you can actually ask people, okay, you guys, what would you like to, how would you like to do it? Raise your hand if you want to do it this way, and then vote, and then you do it and take your time. It comes up with a good product. But that's based on the situation and based on the people that you are dealing with. Okay? Is that clear? So out of all those leadership styles, all of them are good, and they need to be used based on the situation and the people you're dealing with. So in one way or another, you need to learn how to fluctuate, how to balance between one style and the other. Okay. People that only emphasizes one style have many problems because if you don't practice, it is hard to move from one style into the other one. But you can. It's just a matter of practice. You need to be aware which style you are using and to switch when the need comes and practice how to do that. Okay. The coaching style, the visionary when you need to present solutions, the commanding when there's a crisis, you know, you need to learn how to use all those styles. All right. Now, as part of the emotional intelligence, we also have the group ID. Knowledge workers, of course, are the workers that have more knowledge, that they have more experience, and all that. You need to actually know how to work with that kind of population. Meetings, the old way, you know, need to get together, have a meeting or a huddle, and then come up with some ideas. Okay. Working together as a team. That's another approach. Okay, we are 5 people, we all gonna be working together. But how about the intro people that they don't like kind of dealing with groups, and they do, but they feel or they perform much better when they work on your own. I always mention when I'm teaching any kind of class that all extremes are bad. We need to keep a balance in every situation. Okay, go based on the circumstances and based on people as well. And the IQ, smarts, technical people, people that are very technical knowledge, have more knowledge on technical devices and applications, on softwares, and so forth, so on. And again, attitude is key. Okay, how is that you're gonna behave with people? Okay, because if you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't want to do it, you won't do it, or you'll do it but poorly because you're not motivated to do so. So attitude is key for emotional intelligence. And what is attitude? Is the willing to do something. Is the willing to communicate good. Is the willing to listen to someone. Is the willingness to apply different leadership styles when needed, and then to move back and forth. Is the willingness to do something that will work in your benefit and in the benefit of everyone that works with you or for you. The primal leadership, the primal dimension, the open loop, contagion and leadership, laughter and the open loop, how moods impact result. Of course, you need to put some laughter and some of the meetings so you can actually do like an ice breaking situation for people to feel more welcome, to feel good to be in the meeting, to feel good working with you. Okay, now being an emotional hijacking, and of course good moods, good work. If you work in a good mood, you're gonna perform much better. If you are working in a bad mood, no. Plus, people that work with you when you are in a really bad mood, they don't want to work with you because this person, I mean, doesn't even say hi, right? So showing good moods is always good. It provides a positive connotation and in the interactions with people. And quantifying the feel of a company, because working in corporate America for 22 years, you as a person, I as a person I could feel motivated, I could feel happy, I could feel willing to do my work, or I could feel sad, I could feel demotivated, and all of that. As a company, also there is a feeling. Sometimes if the companies that are doing good and they're they're laying off a lot of people, of course, everyone's going to be very tensed. So the emotion, there is a company emotion, okay? Not just one person, but the entire team will feel bad and won't feel like performing the best they can. All right. The social brain. The social brain is also part of the emotional intelligence. We are constantly impacting the brain states in other people by influencing, by talking to people, by listening to people, okay, by interacting with people. We always influencing the others to do or not to do. A high motivated person that leads a group can change the mood of the group in a positive way. Give you an example. I have 5 people working with me. They're all sad and not willing to work. Hey guys, what's going on? You provide some motivation. Oh, you're doing a great job. Come on. Is there anything that I can help you? Cheering up the team counts a lot. Changing your team's mood counts a lot. And sometimes not even the manager, but even a co-worker can do that. So it will change the entire team spirit. And studies shown that when patients feel they have been empathized by their doctor, The physiology shows the connection depending on the case. Of course, if you go to a doctor, and that happens to all of us. You go to a doctor, say, "Hi, Edgar, how you doing? Please have a seat. What can I do for you? How do you feel? You know, what are you going through right now? How's your family?" If I go with all those questions, the patient is gonna feel more comfortable, and they say, "Okay, you have a pain here. Let me, give you this, give you that." So you're gonna start trusting the doctor, and then chances are that you're gonna be healing faster and in a better way. Okay. But if you go to another doctor, say, maybe say, "Hi, hi, do you feel that? Okay, take this test and come back in a week." You don't feel good. You don't relate to that person. You, chances are that you don't want that doctor to treat you, right? Or sometimes you don't have no choice because your insurance only covers that doctor, but that's a different story. But there is a big difference between that. When there's connection with another person, where emotional flows in tandem, then during those moments of chemistry, we feel good about being with the other person, and the other person feels good about being with us. And that happens a lot, even in the work environment or in social events. So you're in a social event, all of a sudden you run into someone and you start talking, and you like that person's voice, you like the person's behavior, you start talking, you like the conversation, and there is some chemistry between those two people, and they come out becoming friends, or doing things together because they feel related to each other. Okay, because there is a connection. And in other situations, it's the opposite. You go somewhere and then you don't feel like be talking to that person. The person's talking to you. You go, "Oh no, I mean, let me just run someone else. I mean, I don't want to stay here." So it works the other way around too. All right. And that's the sweet spot for achievement. Okay. And you see the curve of performance and amount of challenge of difficulty. And they say, okay, when the difficulty is very low, the performance is not good either because you feel bored. Like, "I'll do it tomorrow. I mean, this is too easy," right? When you feel comfort, no. On the extreme, when you have anxiety or high anxiety, you cannot either perform good. But in the medium, size of stress is good because you perform really good. Okay. So as I said before, all extremes are bad. And this is a perfect example for that. Not either low or high, but medium works wonders. Okay. Not feeling too comfortable or not too anxious, right in the middle, it works wonders. Right. But you see how it works actually. If the task is way too easy and you don't feel challenged in any way to do it, something, you're not gonna put because you are, overconfident. You say, "Oh, this is too easy. I just do it tomorrow. Oh, no, I do it, with my eyes closed," right? So it doesn't represent any challenge for you. Just decide you're just not gonna do it good. But the same one is like it takes a lot of you, 20 hours in a day that you need to work on. No, but always to keep a balance. Okay. Hmm, I love this. To see spot for achievement, bosses, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a big difference between a good boss and a bad boss. And gonna find out about certain characteristics that will outline either or. A good boss. A good boss needs to be a great listener. As I mentioned before, 50% of the communication is just listening. Okay. And sometimes when someone is in a crisis, they don't want to give tips, whatever. They just want to be listened. That's very important. Okay. Encourager. Of course, you need to encourage people to move on, to keep going, to do the best they can, and all that. Communicator, speaking slowly, clearer, the best you can. And there are different ways to do that. You need to actually, as I said before, the more you practice, the better you get at it. Okay. If you believe that you have some challenges in communicating correctly, join different organizations. Toastmasters is really good. It's now because of this situation, pandemic situation, they are doing it virtually. And you listen to different presentations and you provide presentations and you receive feedback, constructive feedback, so you can get better and better at doing that. Courageous, yeah, you need to be courageous. Sense of humor, yeah, with ice breaking activities. You need to provide some sense of humor to people to feel welcome, to feel better, to feel good. Shows empathy. Yeah, you need to feel what the other person feels. You need to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's crucial as well. Decisive. You need to be decisive. Make the decisions on a timely manner and not just wait and wait and then leave everyone else hanging. That's not good. Takes a good boss, takes responsibility. Yeah, this is our project and I'm responsible for that. This is my work. Okay. This is the part of me that I'm giving to you guys. Okay. Uh humble. Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna behave in a very ironic way or like insulting or putting people down. That's a no-no. You need to be humble. And shares authority. Okay, if you know that someone have more experience, okay, Mario or Mary, you're gonna replace me tomorrow, or you are gonna be in charge of this particular project, or you're gonna be the timekeeper, things like that. Okay, a good manager, a good boss shares authority, and it's better for you because then you will have a little bit more time to do some other stuff. If someone can, and you train the other person to be a manager as well. Okay, that's part of the socially intelligent leader. Okay, now let's check the other side of the coin. A bad boss. A bad boss behaves in a blank wall. Daughter, you sure you can do it? Let's see. I don't think so. You know. Secretive. Don't tell him that, but he's not doing good. You know. Intimidating. You guys need to do that. Screaming, yelling at people, insulting. Bad temper. Enters the office, boom. Not even says hi, they go straight to the office. Everyone's like, oh, what's going on here? Bad temper. Self-centered. Everything is just about myself. You are nothing. It's just me. Indecisive. Should we make the decision? Maybe yes, maybe not. I haven't decided yet. Let's check it out tomorrow. Blames. Oh no, it was not my fault. It was your fault. Always points people out, blames people out. It's never the manager's or the boss's fault. It's always someone else. And they need to find who that person is. Even if it's not true, they blame someone else. Arrogant and mistrust. Okay. We all seen them. We all have them. We just need to learn how to deal with that. Sometimes provide feedback, sometimes escalate them, or sometimes there is no other choice but to move to a different position, move to a different department, or move to a different job because of the bosses. Mhm. That's the number one, besides, of course, getting more money, that's the number one reason why people nowadays are changing jobs. Because a bad manager, a bad boss, that makes their life miserable. Okay. There's emotion, part of the emotional intelligence as well. Developing emotional intelligence is difference between neuromythology and neurogenesis. Neuromethodology is when we believe we know something, but in reality we have no clue. We just come up with words and then we make it sound good, but we have no idea what we're talking about. And people that are knowledgeable about that, they can get that, saying, hey, what is this guy or this woman talking about? And neurogenesis is the process by which new neurons are formed in the brain, and is crucial when an embryo is developing, but also continues in certain brain regions after birth and throughout our lifespan. Okay, that is when we are kind of intelligent, we develop on intelligence, and they keep go, up, and they, instead of decreasing, if we practice and exercise, we can keep it up or maybe increases as well. As I said before, everything is just practice. Okay, you want to get better at something, you better practice and practice, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. Now, how we can develop emotional intelligence? We have how to enhance emotional intelligence skills. Get committed. Okay, motivates power in the left prefrontal areas. Become enthusiastic at whatever you do about accomplishing the tasks. Okay, and they have five elements for in order to develop emotional intelligence, and I mentioned that before. Is the self-awareness, to become aware how is that you feel today, or how do you feel at any particular event or people. Okay, motivation, face challenges head on, work one step at a time, take time to celebrate and reassess when you reach each milestone. Okay, you reach one milestone, and then you need to reassess how you're going to change that or improve or go to step two. Empathy, I mentioned before, I'm not tired of repeating this. Empathy is key as well. Be aware of the moods and viewpoints of others. Practice acts of kindness on purpose. Be generous, reliable, and slow to judge. Okay. And if you provide feedback, always focus on the fact, on the action, not on the person. Right? Self-regulation, learn self-calming techniques, allow emotions to pass through you. Don't allow the emotions to get stuck on you, but to pass through you, and reflect before making decisions. That I mentioned that before. When you are very emotional or experience a certain bad emotion, do not make any decisions. Calm down. Um, like I said, this is a good way of saying it. Make that emotion to pass through you, and then when you don't feel it and you are aware of that, then make the decision. Okay. Then social skills. Reach out to others, listen well, and work to diffuse disputes. Trust that your ideas add to the conversation, and also listen to others. And in summary, okay, developing emotional intelligence, leadership, there's a leadership assessment tools, the Emotional and Social Competence Inventory, or ESCI 360, that you can get books about that. And then don't try to learn that much all at once. It's little by little, okay? Specific behavior and make it practical. Meaning, um, you're not gonna get a lot if you read everything and then you try to implement that. Do it one at a time. No, if there's some behavior that you need to practice, learn how to do it, get ways to use it, and practice it the best you can. And when you manage to basically use that skill or that behavior in the best way, they move to the next one, and so forth, so on. Okay. And then doing the wrong thing is a habit that we have become Olympic level masters in doing that. But we can change that around. Okay. We can also become masters in doing the right thing. And that's up to you. right? With that, I believe we have completed the emotional intelligence part of this workshop. Now we're going to move into part two, which is the life project. Do you guys have any questions about emotional intelligence at this point before we move into part two?
I do.
Go ahead.
Um, not used to getting this much information, but I sometimes do get into situations where I'm not capable of handling, myself and how to go about life and how to deal with somebody who's always like, I just learned that I got into a relationship and I'm learning to deal with somebody else, and but we're not like we're kind of learning the the hard things, and like he sometimes doesn't understand something.
You are breaking. I cannot hear you very well.
Looks like she left.
No, but she came back.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Let me see. Sandra? She's joining. I think she's joining from the cell phone. Sandra, can you hear me? Sandra?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay. I got your question. And this is what I would say, basically, okay? The emotions that you feel do not define you, okay? And they are not permanent. Don't allow those emotions to get stuck on you. Make them pass through, okay? And first, you need to make the emotion to pass through you. And with a different emotion, you need to make a decision, okay? Is, as I mentioned before, provide feedback, not based on the person, but on the action. With clear examples, what is that making you feel bad and you don't feel comfortable about? And then provide some solutions about how that person can improve. But of course, before that, you need to ask that person if he's willing to receive that. And again, we try to do our best, but if we try and we try and we try and it doesn't work out, we do not need to be attached to anyone, because at the end of the day, we're born we're born by ourselves and we die alone. So we need to kind of be able to detach of someone or a situation when the time comes, when we see that there is no particular hope or any possible solution to move forward, because you cannot get stuck with someone or some situation that it's like a wall for you and you cannot just go forward or farther. Okay. But number one, you need to become aware of what's the emotion that you're feeling and why. Okay. And then make the emotion to pass through you. Okay. And then come up with a plan of action on how you're going to change that situation, so you would stop feeling the way that you feel. Like, it could be frustrated, could be sad, could be emotional, you know. And if there's another person that creates that situation, provide feedback with all the tips that I just gave you before. Any more questions?
Yeah, I do, Professor.
Go ahead.
First of all, thank you for this class. You're covering a lot of things in a very small time, so that's great. Um, there's a couple of things that I wanted you to elaborate a little more. The primal dimension and the open loop. If you could elaborate a little more on those two, and the last one, if you could give us some pointers, some ways that you could help regarding self-regulation.
When you talk about self-regulation, what do you exactly mean?
Like how to handle that? How can you, any pointers, any cheat sheet, anything that we as individual uh, can improve regulating our emotion, I guess, because that's what it entails, right? So self.
Right, right. So I'm not going to go into the first part of it because I just listed that about the primal emotional intelligence as FYI, but I'm going to put more emphasis on part two of your question. And part two of your question, basically, feedback is a gift, and you need to know yourself. So you need to identify exactly what are the behaviors that you have that are good and they show some emotional intelligence, and what are the ones that don't. And as I said before, feedback is a gift. So if you want to make sure of something, ask your peers, your coworkers for feedback, you know, to give you a little assessment on which things you are good and in which things you would need a little bit of improvement. And for some tips as well, because two brains or three think more better than one. So to get some ideas about how you can improve certain behaviors that you want or you wish to improve. And once you have a list of all the behaviors that you would like to improve, make a task or a list of how you can implement that. Meaning, list all the behaviors you want to change or improve and look for opportunities where you can practice those and make your action plan. Okay, so for this team meeting, I'm going to be practicing them by listening. If you realize that sometimes for you it's hard to, I mean, this is just a hypothetical example. If it's hard for you to listen, okay, go to talk to someone and say, okay, talk, and just for 2 minutes, do not say a word. Just listen unless the person asks something to you, right? But just practice that. If sometimes when we're not used to that, it's like, okay, we want to say something. No, just keep yourself quiet and just focus on what the person is saying, or take notes so the person sees that you are paying attention. Okay. It's basically coming, you need to come up with an action plan. That's basically it. And how to come up with it? Through feedback and by you. I mean, by knowing yourself, and by having clear all the things that you would like to improve.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? All right. So we are moving to part two. This is gonna get very interesting. Let's move. All right. So we're gonna go to the personal life project. Okay. Of course, we as individuals, our life have different components. We have our professional life, our personal life, our family life, our mental and emotional life, health and fitness life, spiritual life, and everything is interconnected. Okay. And like I said before, all extremes are bad. So if you focus exclusively in only one part of your life, of course, you're going to disregard and not pay attention to the other ones. And that creates instability. Okay. And we're going to see about that in the next slides. The lack of balance, that is the origin of the problem, because we are humans and humans are multidimensional. There are many examples, some only experienced by the ones that lived them. Ignoring this carries out multiple consequences. Could be depression, sadness, frustration. If we focus more on our professional life and then we disregard our personal life, our families, our spirituality, then yeah, we're going to be working 20 hours a day, but then that's all we're going to be doing. No? And that carries depression, sadness, frustration, because we just focus on one part of ourselves, but not on the whole. Okay. Can we be successful and happy Yes. However, we have seen many people that reach the top of the success but end up being in jail. And that happened a lot with politicians, with president of CEO of corporations, ministers, so far, so on. And some of them, they even commit suicide, got divorced, you name it. Okay. And I was reading the other day an article about, they were saying that in 1938 in Chicago, they actually put together a list of 10 people that were the most successful people in the United States. I mean, I forgot right now the name. I'm just giving you this example as a metaphor. And 15 years later, the same journalist that actually put together that list was looking for those 10 individuals to see how they were doing. And to this journalist's surprise, some of them committed suicide, some of them were in jail, and or some of them end up being poor. I mean, so what happened? And they realized that some of them, okay, focus entirely their life in just working. They were making millions, they were putting the company together, investing, doing this. And at the same time, the wives decided to get a divorce. The children felt isolated and then got into drugs or whatever because they didn't feel the love of their parents. And that was really, they end up in a really bad situation. Why? Because their life had only one purpose, and that was it. And they disregard all the other parts of our existence. That's awful, but sometimes life works that way. The lack of balance. Can we have fame and be happy? We could, but we have seen many famous people that end up in bad situations. Why? Again, because they put fame as number one priority in their life. And they disregard all this. They disregard spirituality, they disregard the family, they disregard their personal life, they disregard education, and all they do is work 24/7 and obtaining only one goal, that is fame. Okay. And as I said before, fame, I mean, it's not bad as long as you focus in all the other areas of your life so you could be happy. But if you only focus on fame, that's not going to work because you are not just fame. It's one goal. That's it. It's not your life. Okay. What is a limiting belief? There are limiting beliefs that we cannot have everything in life. Is it true? Yeah. And there are different limiting beliefs, like I am not good enough. That's a limiting belief. I have to keep them happy. I am afraid. I have to be perfect. I am not safe in the world. Okay? So limiting belief is basically, it's a consequence of a programming that we received as little kids, sometimes by our parents, sometimes by our teachers, sometimes by our family members, sometimes by our peers, okay? That we are not doing something. We are in math and the teacher says, oh no, you are really bad in math. Okay, I am bad in math. I'm 10 years old, I'm 15 years old. Oh yeah, I'm bad in math. Oh, why taking those math courses in college? I'm really bad in math. Oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm bad in math. But that is a limiting belief. Okay. But if we change that, we can do whatever we can and whatever we want just to get rid of that limiting belief, because the limiting belief generate a lack of action. Okay. If I believe that I'm bad in something, I'm not going to do it. That's a lack of action. And that lack of action we generate a poor result or poor results in general, because that applies to everything. Okay? How can we ensure success in all the areas of life? By setting up goals in all areas, and that's exactly the personal life project. Okay. And I'm not saying, I mean, that would be impossible to focus. Okay. Today we have 24 hours. I will focus 2 hours on my personal life, 2 hours on my educational life, 2 hours on my spiritual life. That would be impossible, right? So we need to fluctuate. Okay, yeah, today and tomorrow, I'm gonna, strictly focus on my professional life because my job requires that. But the third day, I will focus more on my children. I take them out for dinner, have conversation with my kids. If I'm a parent, I will talk to my parents, my brothers or sisters. Then I will do meditation. I will pray. So put, different, time slots in your busy schedule. Not like an hour here, an hour there. No, but saying, okay, 2 days I will focus more on this, the third day on that, the next week on this, and so forth, so on. Okay, by keeping a balance on that. And then we have a personal life, the body, mind, and experience, spiritual, more purpose, perspective, peace, relationships. That's important, right? Family, friends, community, and financial. That's crucial too, because we need in this society we need money to live, right? Marketplace, value, asset management, and all that. And the secret of happiness is to keep a balance in all areas of our life. We have our family, friends, our personal growth, our financial, spirituality, health and wellness, fun and recreation, because we deserve to have fun, right? Whatever fun means to you. Going up to the movies with friends, going to the beach, going to a party, inviting friends for dinner, going on a field trip, whatever is fun for you, we need to do that. Relationships and romance, career, and being creative. The only way of getting rid of the limiting beliefs is by declaring affirmations. Why? Because affirmations is a reprogramming. Okay. For example, if your self-esteem is low, apply this: I love myself, and repeat that statement different times during the day. Set your alarm in your phone, so every 2 hours you repeat that 5 times. I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. 2 hours later, of course, you have to be mentally. You're not going to be at work like, I love myself, I love myself. Your coworkers will believe that you are crazy. Do it mentally or
Can I
go to
stop
the
you
bathroom.
for a sec?
Yes, go ahead.
Um, what if that doesn't work?
What if that doesn't work? Try a different affirmation. You need to apply the affirmations that work for you. I mean, these are not going to work for everyone. You need to test them. When you're about to buy something, you try it on, see if it works. Okay, I like this. Yeah, it worked for me. And you buy it, right? The same with affirmation. You try different ones, and then you apply the one that is better for you. Okay, and there's no way for you to find out until you try them. So try different ones, and then when you feel that particular one is working for you, start using it all the time, and you're gonna see big changes in your life. Believe me. For example, I'll give you a couple of these. Is just, I mean, you go on Google and type affirmations on certain areas, right? Affirmations on, I don't know. I mean, it could be on self-esteem, and you come out with a list of different affirmations, and then try some of the ones that are more kind of get your attention and see the ones that work. But of course, you're not going to see the results from one day to another one. It takes at least 15 days to start seeing results, 15 to 20 days. But you need to be consistent. You must be consistent. Not, okay, I do the affirmations today, tomorrow, and then I leave it alone for a week or two. No, it has to be on a daily basis. That's the only way that you can reprogram your mind and get rid of those limiting beliefs. Okay. And I'm not going to read them all because you have hundreds of affirmations that you can use. Check on Google by area. Okay. Because there are different affirmations by area or subjects that you want to work on. But for example, I just give you some examples like I'm proud of myself, or I'm proud of who I am. I believe in myself. This is very powerful. My God, I believe in myself. I do believe in myself. I believe in myself. Okay. Uh, I choose strength and courage. My perspective is important. When sometimes you feel that at work you are not heard, okay, no one listens to you. Okay, repeat that affirmation. My perspective is important. My perspective is important. And when the time comes, you're gonna see that you're gonna, sometimes we doubt a lot. And when the other people perceive that there is some doubt, you're not taking it into consideration. But by doing this affirmation, you create more trust. You are more decisive because, wait a minute, I have this great idea that's going to work out, and everyone's going to be listening to you. Okay. So these affirmations and the practice that I mentioned before in emotional intelligence about if you want to change some behaviors, how is that you can need to come up with an action plan and practice, 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 and practice. That's what you need to do. Okay. Things are not going to change because of a miracle. It could, but you need to work on that. Okay? You need to work on that. And as I mentioned before, what's the affirmation? Affirmation is the action or process of affirming something or being affirmed. The declaration that something is true. I'm declaring that what I'm saying is true. And I don't accept anything different. Okay? Emotional support or encouragement. Of course, the more you repeat it, you more believe it. The thing is, you to believe what you say. And if you constantly repeat and repeat it and repeat it, then you end up by believing. And if you believe it, you can make it happen. Everything is in the brain, you see? So that's the wonder of affirmations against the limiting belief that we all have in one way or another. And this is, I love this graphic. It's called the gold circle. Okay, the golden circle from Simon Sinek. Every time we have a plan, a goal, whatever, we need to ask these three questions. And the first one is why, how, and what. But before you do how and what, why is the number one question. Why? Because that's the reasoning of everything you do. If you start by how or what, you're not going to have any foundation of whatever you want to do in life. And therefore, you easily going to be discouraged of keep working on something. But if you have the why written down in a clear way, what's going to happen? If in the future, something doesn't work out the way you want, you remember, okay, why is that I wanted to do that? Oh, I wanted to do this because of this. Oh no, I'm going to continue. This is very strong. This is very important in my life. I cannot afford to leave it like that. I need to finish this. And what is going to give you the foundation? The why. So number one, the why. Then, once I have a list of the why I'm doing something, how, and then what. Okay? This is key. This is key information, and it works. All right, so each participant needs to write down, if you want to complete your personal life project, you need to write down your own personal life project in which you should, when I put it for they should outline the personal goal for each category for the next 5 years. So you need to write down your goals for the next 5 years on the professional level, on the intellectual level, on the spiritual level, on the recreational or leisure, health and good physical shape, financial, and family. Professional, why? You need to actually outline where is that you want to be in the next 5 years, okay? And how are you going to get into that point? Intellectual, which courses I'm going to be taking? How many books I'm going to be reading? How many workshops I'm going to be attending? How many literature books I'm going to be reading just for learning? Okay. Spiritual. If you're a believer, am I going to pray? Did I go to church? Did I go to the temple? You know, or if you're not dogmatic, did I do meditation? You know, whatever is good for you, because we have this human body, but we have spirit too. So we need to take care of it because that's what we are. Let's say we are spiritual being living a human experience. Recreational and leisure, of course, you need to have fun. You know, go on a field trip, go to the beach, go on vacation. And you need to set that as a goal as well, because that's part of your life, right? Health and good physical shape. Why is it important to be in good health and have a good physical shape or being fit? Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the only body that we're going to have in this existence. That's it. Can you imagine, for example, if you are 16 years old and they give you a brand new car and they would say, Edgar, because Edgar's myself, this is the only car you're going to have in your life. If the car breaks down or is gone, that's it. You won't have any more cars in your life. You need to take the subway, the buses, Uber, whatever, but there will be no more car. Hell, I know that I'm going to be washing the car, having that regular maintenance, doing the best I can so that car can last the longest, right? Right. So why don't do the same with your body? Because this is the only body you're going to have for your own existence in this planet. So you need to take care of your body. By eating healthy, exercising, and all that. If not, when you get older, you will pay the consequences. Financial. It's important too, you know, to have a financial plan. And if you don't know anything about finances, look for help. And you don't have to pay a financial advisor. I mean, you can if you want and you have of course, my advice would be to go ahead and look for a professional, right? But if you have some friends that that they are good in the financial things, you can do some trading. Okay, you give me some tips, or you teach me about how to do this, and I teach you what I know, you know? And sometimes I do that with friends, you know, I teach you this, and then I want to learn that I know you know about that, so we trade. And we do that. And it works perfectly. And in that way, you can take care of your finances. How? Creating more wealth. How? By investing, by saving money, by allocating money here, not having everything in one nest, but having your eggs in different places, you know, put some money here, do this here, you know, save for retirement is something you need to be educated about. And unfortunately, in many places in the world, including this country, sometimes in education, they don't put enough emphasis on financial, how to educate yourself on using your credit cards, how to educate yourself in investing your money in properties and acquiring properties and doing it for investing, you know, buying an apartment, renting it out so I can get some income. And the rent that I get will pay the mortgage. So in 15 years, the apartment will be mine. And I didn't really have to pay for the mortgage. You know, things like that we need to do, and we need to educate ourselves. by reading books, by taking workshops, by taking classes, or by asking for someone that is good on the financial area to teach you. Either you pay it or you trade with something that you know that you can provide. And then last but not least, right? Family. Family also is very important because family is the structure of a society. And the ones that they have kids, it takes the entire town to raise a kid. And that is true. Family members, you need to pay attention on your loved ones, your spouses or significant others, whoever is with you, because we live in a society. We need to take care of everyone as well. All right. And this is a format that I use and I like every time I want to work on my goals. And I give a sample to Alex. So maybe at the end of this workshop, this is gonna, a format is gonna end soon. Alex, you can send them out the format. And basically it works like this. I mean, you don't have to put it's for yourself. You put my vision for the world is, and you put your vision. My personal life project, you put some information you want, your name, age, if you wish. Then you separate by all the areas, the professional goals, and you put list tangible goals and provide as much detail as possible. You can outline 5 goals, 10 goals, it's up to you. Why is this goal important to me? Again, remember the graphic that we had before, the why it is important, because that will be the foundation for you to execute your own goals, okay? Why is this goal important to me? So the more information you can put on that one, the better. What is the effort to achieve this goal? Okay, what kind of effort is gonna take from me to achieve this particular goal? And then in year 1, so a year from now, what is that I want to accomplish? In year 2, what is that I want to accomplish? Year 3, 4, and 5. If, for example, your goal, and you know for sure, is going to be completed in 2 or 3 years, then in year number 4 or year number 5, you can put already completed. Okay? I mean, I put them as 5 years, but if you're lucky enough, your goal can be completed in 1 or 2 years, so the next column, you just put already completed. All right? The same for the intellectual goals. You need to put a list, tangible goals, and why is this goal important? This is crucial. The second column, effort to achieve the goal, and then the goal. The actions on year 1, year 2, year 3. You need to put a lot of detail on this. And then when I teach this class, I'm actually in college, I teach the self-empowerment, and I teach them how to do this. Actually, the final projects, they need to come out with a personal life project, right? And I keep telling them every week, you need to provide more details. Why? Because if you provide more details, you're able to visualize the outcome. And if you can see it, you'll be able to do it. Okay, so the more you put colors, sizes, okay, I want a house like this with a backyard, a swimming pool, a car, which color, a job, which job, in which company. The more detail you put on it, the better. Okay, same for the intellectual area. For the spiritual, they say, I want to do meditation, I want to buy my this, sign for these Reiki sessions, I want to go to church, whatever. It's spiritual for you. Recreational or leisure, right? I want to go on vacation to New York, to the Keys, take my family, this day, I will buy my tickets, more detail, the better. Health or body shape, I would sign to go to the gym. You don't have to actually go to the gym. You can just do biking, you can go for a walk, you can run, you can do all the stuff without paying a penny. Okay. But of course, you can afford that and you like that, you can go to the gym every day if you wish, right? And eat healthy, just buy fruits, vegetables, fish, vitamins, whatever you feel like, and sometimes it's a diet to do a diet, but then if you take a diet which is on a temporary basis, yeah, you probably lose weight, you're good in shape. But if you don't continue, um, nutrition is basically it's a lifestyle. You need to continue that and be consistent on that as well. Financial, the same as I mentioned before. I provide a lot of examples. You need to list tangible goals and why that is important to you. And first year, so for example, I'm gonna save that much money. I'm gonna save money to buy this an apartment or to improve my house, whatever. Right? It's good for you. I'm gonna put some more money on my 401k or my IRA for my retirement. You mentioned family as well. I'm going to dedicate an hour a day to talk to my son. I'm going to visit my parents once a week, every 2 weeks, or if they live far away, I'm going to call them on a weekly basis, see how they're doing, all that. That is important. Okay. And that is the end of this workshop. As a reference, I use basically these two books that I highly recommend. The Leadership, The Power of Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I love that book. And, this is in Spanish, Arquitectura del Éxito by Camilo Cruz. It also gives you a lot of information. If you speak Spanish,
Where can we find the book?
You can get it in Amazon or any bookstore. Yeah. You can get it, any place. You can buy it online. You can buy a hard copy or e-version of it. So I actually do have an e-version. So I can copy and paste, do stuff on it because I use it for my personal goals as well.
I'll definitely send that in an email.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you so much for your time. And I hope you enjoyed this workshop on emotional intelligence and how to create and build your own personal life project. If you guys have any final questions, maybe you can come up with one. If not, I will really thank you so much for this. And at the end of this workshop, Addis is going to send you the sample of the format for you to develop your own personal life project.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Welcome, Marcelo.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I do. You don't mind.
Go ahead, Center.
I didn't understand. They towards the end you said I was asking myself how we're supposed to know what our life goal is. We don't have one. Like I only have some, but I don't have a lot.
Oh, basically, by reading books. I mean, there's this book about exactly how to come up with your goals, and also by asking people that do some brainstorming, or go out to the park. I mean, one Saturday or Sunday, that is a beautiful day outside, sit next to a tree with a notebook and a pen, and I start writing down, okay, what is that I want to do? Of course, you need to be very relaxed and all that, and write down. You need to write down because if not, you're going to forget.
And no smartphones.
And no smartphone. Well, it could be in a smart. I mean, yeah, if you are good at a smartphone, just type in your smartphone, your list, But you can ask for people that know you better, brother, sister, best friends, whoever. I mean, what do you think, is good for you? I mean, what thing, and maybe, you at the end of the day, it's your choice because it's your life, right? But you can take some points too that sometimes people can see it clearer than you because they are not in your shoes, they are not in your body. So they can see it from the outside and they can give you some tips. And at the end of the day, it's you who decide it's going to take them or not.
Yeah, and you think your book is gonna help me? Like if I read it, like
Of course, yeah. That will give you some examples and then you can kind of relate to some of those, right?
I'm not sure about the fans, but I'll learn more about it in the book. And
Yeah.
If
you
I
like
can get you
reading,
information, I
that's
can
awesome.
maybe.
Yeah.
No, I do, and like especially about. I enjoyed this. I forgot the class. I enjoyed your presentation and everything.
Thank you.
And Edgar, just for the sake of continuity, I'm gonna like to share my screen on Amazon just to show the book. Definitely typing it, name, where to find it, etc. Just for a quick minute, okay?
Sure. Now at this time, can you stop recording or you wanna?
Yeah, I'll stop recording.
Okay. Or you wanna continue with showing your screen?
I'll continue showing the Amazon.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So Sandra, thank you everyone for coming. Actually, yeah, I enjoyed the workshop as well. Just to share screen where to find the book. And could I be enabled to share the screen? You're the host.
Oh, okay. Let me actually change that, and I'm gonna make you the host. Make
Sure.
host. Okay, you're the yes. No, you're the host.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, okay. So sharing screen on Amazon Prime or my Amazon. Yeah, so Edgar, what's the name of the book again?
Oh, it's the emotional intelligence.
The Emotional Intelligence Quick Book.
Right.
Emotional Intelligence Quick Book. Okay. So yeah, you go to Amazon, you search the Emotional Intelligence Quick Book. Which one is it? This one or this one?
Hold on, let me check.
Take your time.
The one by keep going down. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, it's The Power of Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goldman.
The Power of Emotional Intelligence by
Yes,
The Power
of Emotional Intelligence
Intelligence by what's his name?
by
Daniel Goleman.
yes, Daniel Goldman.
Okay. Okay.
There it goes. That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. There it is. Okay.
That's
So
a really good book. It's a really good book.
awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Everyone take screenshot, take a picture, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Here it is right here. And just wanted to show where to find that on Amazon. Okay. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
definitely
it.
stop recording. Right about, let's see. Actually, get out of full share screen here. Stop share screen. Stopping now.